When a woman wants money
Now, where were we?
more than love or loved ones, coffers empty and coffins fill. Seductive charm masks an English rose's lethal intentions.
The trail of devastated, demoralized, destitute men.
A prim and proper wife has a morbid obsession.
So fascinated by death, she had the local mortician on speed dial.
And filling a child with hate backfires on a mom.
Once you looked at that face, somebody experienced a frightful moment.
These deadly women take lives and livelihoods. They have insatiable greed. Rustington, Southern England, 1998. Two-time divorcee, 38-year-old Dena Webb is again looking for love.
Bubbly blonde who loves a laugh seeks the company of a like-minded man.
Dena would meet men mostly through Lonely Hearts columns.
Hello? Yes, I'm the bubbly blonde. Thank you for ringing.
A lot of men wanted to meet Dena, and she had her pick.
What's your name?
They were ready to fall in love.
Her ad lures another divorcee, Richard Thompson, a successful manager working for a global telecommunications company.
Dena could read men brilliantly. She would very quickly identify whether they had money, what their hopes were, what their ambitions were.
Richard thought he had met his soulmate. He liked deep-sea fishing. She claimed that she liked deep-sea fishing as well.
Hey, I got lots of contacts in America.
He was amazed that someone would care about him that much.
You think we could?
Definitely.
A whirlwind romance leads to marriage. The couple share more than a bed. They share their assets, too. And Richard isn't the only one with money.
Dena told Richard she had won the lottery.
She told Richard that she had a contact in America that will make him tens of millions of pounds.
But before the newlyweds depart for the States, Dena plans a special going-away present.
Dena used a promise of wild sex to get Richard into a compromising, helpless position.
Pretty kinky.
You'll love it.
He lay there expecting something sexual to happen.
What are you doing?
Just getting ready.
After the first blow, he was confused. The second blow on his head, and he suddenly thought, I'm fighting for my life here.
She then tries to stab him, but he's fortunate enough he's able to release his hands.
Drop the knife, bro! Break her eyes out! What the hell is going on?
Richard saves his life, but not his livelihood. Dena has cleaned out all his accounts.
He suddenly realized that all his money had been drained, that he made out his will to her, he'd given her power of attorney over his affairs. And suddenly the penny drops. Basically, he wasn't meant to be here.
Dena would set her sights on a victim based on two things. Could she get access to their finances? And could she hurt them?
Police think they've got a winning case, and Richard is their star witness. But Dena's got a story to tell the jury, too.
She admitted to Richard that she'd conned him. He flew into a blind rage and attacked her. And to defend herself, she picked up a baseball bat.
Dena worked her magic on an entire jury and convinced them that she was the victim.
It's probably the most staggering court verdict I've ever had.
But Dena can't talk her way out of defrauding Richard and gets 3 years and 9 months in jail. Frustrated police look deeper into Dena's past and find trouble.
The trail of devastated, demoralised, destitute, financially bankrupt men.
In 1982, Dena's first husband, Lee, is promised a life of riches.
They love Sean the leprechaun.
You're joking.
They are offering us a fortune.
She tells him they are going to be millionaires, thanks to a tiny leprechaun.
They came up with this idea for a stuffed toy. They called this character Sean the Leprechaun. Dena told everybody that it was going to go global.
Dena isn't the only one who believes in the leprechaun. She claims a global toy company based in the States wants a piece of the action.
You clever woman.
She produced letters to persuade him that, in fact, they had got interest from these huge companies.
We're going to be so rich.
So Lee gave up his day job. They devoted all their time to Sean the Leprechaun.
But there's no contract and no money coming in. They're broke, and debt collectors are knocking on the door. Fearing she'll be found out, Dena makes up another outrageous story.
She then came up with this story to tell Lee that the mafia had got involved.
Thank God you're home. He followed me.
Wow.
He said they were going to kill you.
So when bailiffs visited to get money because they'd fallen into debt because they weren't working, Lee believed that they were mafia people come to get him.
What are we going to do?
You have to get away.
It sounds absurd, but if you'd been in Dena's world for several years with a drip, 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 drip of mind control, then you might actually believe what she was saying.
Dena played with Lee like a cat plays with a wounded mouse, and she enjoyed it.
Believing his life is in danger, Lee agrees to go into hiding.
He disappeared for years. He changed his identity, slept rough all over England.
While Dena enjoys all the comforts of home, Lee spends 3 years underground, always hoping he can return to his wife.
Hello?
Is it safe to come home yet?
No, it's still not safe.
I can't do it this much longer.
You have to. For me. For us.
Lee always believed that he was doing the right thing, that one day the phone call would come saying, come back, and it never came.
I should go. We don't want them to trace the call.
There will be no homecoming for Lee and no divorce. Not even when Dena moves on to second husband, Julian Webb.
Just Mum. Her usual bad timing. Now, where were we?
Dena is not just a liar. She is now a bigamist.
Dena chose her victims very well. Sociopaths are good at choosing people they sense they can manipulate.
Once again, Dena spins a tall story of a wealthy life in the States.
They were going to emigrate to America and that he'd been offered a job out there.
She had this American dream that all the men talked about, and we never actually really got to the bottom of why.
They should be celebrating. But Julian is in no shape to party. June 30th, 1994. A sleepy suburb near Littlehampton in the south of England.
What are we going to do?
You have to get away.
34-year-old Dena Webb has one husband on the run from the mafia. and another dying in her bed.
We had our suspicions that everything was not quite as it should be. He was off sick, and uncharacteristically, we didn't hear anything from him. And on the second day when he didn't appear, a colleague actually rang Dena and asked about Julian. And she said, oh, he's sick, and put the phone down.
A number of people had called the house, and Dena had told a number of stories about why he couldn't come to the phone.
Nobody knows what was going on in the house during that time.
Dena finally calls for help.
They found Julian on the bed. His body was already quite rigid. Dena presented the paramedics with a bottle of tablets saying,
This is what he took.
Dena claims Julian has taken antidepressants, but that is hard for his family to swallow.
Julian was a fitness fanatic. He didn't drink, he didn't take drugs, he wouldn't even take an aspirin.
Dena may be slow to call the paramedics, but she's quick to call about his insurance benefits.
She appeared on the doorstep of the office the following morning.
Hello, Dena.
Julian is dead.
She said, Julian's dead. I need to know about his insurance money. And it was all in the same breath. And I thought, wow, this can't be for real.
An autopsy concludes a fatal overdose is the likely cause of death.
Although it was treated as suspicious, and although there were anomalies in her story, it was never really investigated as a murder. And that's how the matter rested for several years.
Dena gets away with murder once, but her attack on Richard Thompson will be her undoing.
Lightning never strikes twice. And when I heard about the other case that she'd been investigating for, that immediately aroused my interest.
We then reopened the investigation into the suspicious death of Julian Webb.
6 years after his death, Julian's body is exhumed and examined by top forensic scientists. They confirm antidepressants caused his death, but not one dose.
We were able to involve international toxicological experts who were able to examine his stomach contents, his blood content, and what these experts were able to say was that this couldn't have been a suicide. This must have been infused into the body over 3 or 4 days.
Dena's unsavory side is exposed.
Dena had cooked a hot curry for Julian in the week before he died.
Here you go.
You're not having any?
No, I'm full.
This is my favourite.
Yeah, no.
We believe that she'd crushed the drugs into the curry and he'd eaten it, and then it'd get sent him into a stupor over a few days.
Too weak to move, Julian is totally vulnerable.
The last days of Julian Webb would have been horrific as he lay there, knowing that something was happening to him. But no doctor came, his mother didn't come, no friends came to the house. He was totally isolated.
9 years after Julian dies, his killer is finally revealed. In 2003, Dena Thompson receives life with a minimum of 16 years for murder.
Dena was a master manipulator of other people. One husband murdered. Another almost murdered. And a third on the run.
I've dealt with 50-odd murders. I have nightmares about 2. One of them is this case.
There you go.
And the reason I still have nightmares about it is I worry about when did he realise that instead of a lover, he was dealing with a killer.
Coming to terms with the death of loved ones
It was a slow, twisty, horrible kind of death.
No.
is difficult for most people.
Family members were dropping like flies.
But there are rare exceptions.
Louise was so fascinated by death, she had the local mortician on speed dial.
In the 1900s, women know their place is in the home, raising a family. But one young Chicago wife, Louise Breenkamp, doesn't really like children. She prefers the company of corpses.
She went to work for no pay, mind you, as an assistant to a local funeral home undertaker.
What are you doing here, Louise?
I heard about poor Mr. Pitt, taken so young. I thought I could help.
He recalled quite vividly her joy, almost gleeful exhilaration at the chance to embalm, at the chance to be around dead bodies.
Louise was sort of a death groupie. She just couldn't get enough of hanging around and seeing the dead bodies.
Her desire to be around corpses was because she was known as a necrophile, someone who becomes excited and aroused in the presence of dead bodies. It's very rare.
It's not that Louise has any spare time. By 25, she is caring for 5 stepchildren and struggling to keep her home orderly.
Frank, Lillian! Stop bickering!
To the annoyance of her much older husband, 60-year-old Fred.
Why can't you keep an orderly house? The children, this mess, it's an embarrassment.
Fred's complaints are short-lived. He soon succumbs to a mysterious illness.
There were no cures for what are commonly treated ailments today, and stomach problems were quite common.
So when he dropped dead, no one really considered anything nefarious.
Fred leaves his family well provided for, thanks to his life insurance. And Louise decides to invest it in death. She becomes a partner in a Chicago mortuary.
She took his insurance policy, roughly $2,000, and transferred it over to the Chicago Southside undertaker. She had promised that she would deliver to him clients.
True to her word, Louise delivers customers. The first, her 4-year-old stepdaughter, Florence.
Some soup.
Within a year, another stepdaughter. 8-year-old Cora suffers the same horrendous symptoms.
Horrible, horrible, prolonged stomach pain. It was a slow, twisty, horrible kind of death.
Grieving Louise is still young and beautiful, and soon has a new man to help her heal.
She finds a man named Charles who has a son named Harry, and she inserts herself into that family.
Father, I need to talk to you. Alone.
But not everyone is happy with their union. Charles's son Harry doesn't warm to his new stepmom.
Why don't you ask her about the proceeds from the property at Crystal Lake?
Charles, are you going to let him stand there and insult me?
He had the lingering suspicion that there was much more to this woman.
Why don't you prepare supper and we'll discuss this over a meal?
Of course. It would be my pleasure.
But before the dispute can be resolved, Harry is in the morgue.
No one really looked at Harry's death. She said that he died of heart failure, and they believed it.
Another stepdaughter, Lillian, soon joins him. And then, her new husband.
Next, Charles comes down with illness. He's very, very ill.
Charles died within 6 days of taking sick. Again, she collected a sizable insurance payout.
Everyone thought that Louise and her family were cursed. Her husbands, her stepchildren, they kept dying.
When her last surviving stepchild, Frank, is bedridden, his nurse is Louise.
Well, she looked after him, showing the Angel of Mercy side to them, the Florence Nightingale side.
He suffers for at least 6 months with his terrible illness while she's right by his side.
Trapped in bed, Frank has time to think.
No.
There was something wrong with that. I'm going the same way as Dad.
On his deathbed, he said, "I'm going to go the way of my father. I think I've been poisoned."
His death brings the toll to 2 husbands and 5 stepchildren. Despite so many deaths in the hands of one caretaker, there is no investigation. Nothing to stop Louise's deadly greed. Louise Vermilia is fascinated with death and corpses. In the early 20th century, she buys into a Chicago mortuary, then fills it with customers, her own family.
One after another dropped dead, and no one really questioned it because mortality was high.
The deaths set Louise up as a wealthy woman, thanks to life insurance payouts. She buys another business, a boarding house for lonely itinerant men.
Even as she advanced into middle age, she was still quite fetching, this beguiling temptress.
I suggest you take along. I make it plain so people can have their own.
Railroad conductor Richard Smith soon falls for her cooking and charm.
He became bewitched, if you will, by Louise and fell in love with her and began courting her quite seriously.
But Louise won't succumb to love without security.
He signed over his life insurance to her so she can cash in on that.
And then all of a sudden, he died.
Not one for grieving. Another boarder soon catches Louise's eye.
Arthur Bissonnette had just been admitted to the Chicago Police Department.
Who's it from?
My fiance.
Louise always gets the man she wants, but not this time. Arthur isn't falling for her.
Bissonnette was a young man, and Louise was quite older than him.
Ada?
He had a fiancée and was apparently engaged and was contemplating marriage.
If Arthur won't be her lover, Louise knows another way he can satisfy her.
Some more pepper?
Yes, please. Arthur gets violently ill and dies.
Louise always gets her man, dead or alive, but she prefers them dead.
She might have had a sexual gratification coming from the notion that she controlled the life and death process of her victims, that she could send a person to eternity through her own volition.
Not all necrophiles get their kicks simply hanging out at funeral homes. Some of them get their kicks by creating a dead body out of someone that they killed.
But this is one dead man too many. Arthur's father is suspicious and insists on an autopsy.
They actually looked for traces of arsenic, and they indeed found that. It seemed quite compelling, real proof that she was indeed a murderess.
Investigators start looking into Louise's past and find the trail of death. More bodies are exhumed and more arsenic found. Police realize Louise's murder weapon for decades has been a special seasoning.
She was using rough on rats, which was a rat poison full of arsenic.
She had a little pepper box that she would put grains of arsenic in, and she would sprinkle it over their food. This is how she administered poison to her victims.
With her poisoning exposed, police have a strong case for murder. But Louise isn't finished with her pepper box yet.
She took enough grains of arsenic to severely paralyze herself. She lost control of her feet, she could not walk, and she lost control of her hands.
It's a dangerous and audacious play for sympathy in court. But a wheelchair-bound beauty is a gift to her defense attorney.
He played her up as kind of a sob sister, if you will, a hard-working woman who had been plagued by tragedy her entire life. The jury did not hear any of the evidence that linked her to Fred Brinkamp, Charles Vermilya, Harry Vermilya, the three daughters of Brinkamp. None of that was admissible.
A sympathetic jury refuses to convict a crippled woman. A split decision means a mistrial, and the prosecution drops the case. In 1912, Louise Vermilya is wheeled out of court, a free woman.
This was a very soulless woman, completely lacking in compassion. There was no sense of guilt, there was no sense of remorse, and all of that adds up to a sociopath.
Louise received financial benefit from some of the murders, but not all of them. In addition to killing for money, she killed for pleasure.
Some people will hold tight to valuables at any cost.
The smell suddenly hit him.
Precious family heirlooms.
Books on Satanism and the occult were found near the garbage can.
Or mementos of loved ones.
The way that she kept her close to her was in a storage unit.
Caring for the elderly takes patience and kindness, attributes that 46-year-old Brookie Lee West lacks. When in the late 1990s, she moves to Las Vegas to nurse her ailing mom, Christine.
The medical provider expressed some concern that Christine was starting to show initial stages of Alzheimer's.
Brookie?
But her mother's plight doesn't soften Brookie's heart.
Brookie, would you pass me my medicine? I'm watching, Ma.
The relationship between Brookie and her mother was kind of a tortured history.
I have to do everything for you.
They lived together, yet they fought constantly.
I'm sick of you.
Brookie's a tough cookie, just like Mom.
She was from a very troubled background. Was extremely dysfunctional.
It's just not right for those colored folk to mix.
Her father, Leroy, indoctrinates young Brookie and her brother with hate.
He was a Satanist and dabbled in witchcraft and was also a white supremacist, pure hatred. Role models that present that type of lifestyle to any child, eventually you're going to soak up.
Mom, Christine, who should protect Brookie and her brother,
Mom, you in there?
is busy with another interest.
The man she was having an affair with in rural Texas was promising her the world.
I'm really hungry.
You kids get lost. I told you I'm busy.
And telling her that he was going to give Christine a new life.
Should we stop? Do you want to stop?
But the affair ends badly.
She pulled a shotgun out and shot the man at point-blank range.
It showed Brookie that she could take care of business violently, her own way, and that she could get away with it.
Christine goes to jail for attempted murder.
How was your day, all right?
It was all right, but I sure do need one of these.
Against all the odds, Brookie grows up to establish a good career.
She was a very successful person. She's making an excellent salary as a technical writer, doing very well.
But one thing she inherits from her mother is an attraction to a loser.
Howard Simon St. John was penniless, an alcoholic and drug addict.
The unlikely couple ties the knot. But it isn't long before there's conflict.
Honey, will you be so kind as to do a little favor for me?
Anything for you, honey.
Brookie wants Howard to torch her car for the insurance money.
She owned more money on the car than what it was worth.
I love you, honey, but you know I can't do that.
I give you all of this. I support you, and I just ask you one little thing.
No.
Brookie isn't one to take no for an answer.
There was a fight, and she had pulled out a little handgun.
Howard's lucky to be alive. The bullet grazes his neck. Police investigate, but no charges are filed. Brookie convinces them it's a case of self-defense.
A week later, Howard goes back to Brookie, and they rekindle their romance.
I'm sorry, my love.
It's a serious mistake, and the last Howard St. John will ever make. Brookie Lee West is raised by a violent and bigoted mom and dad. They teach her the worst of values. When Brookie's boyfriend refuses to commit insurance fraud, she shoots him. It's only a flesh wound. Remarkably, Howard forgives her and they reunite. But not for long. On June 6, 1994, his body is found lying in a national forest in California.
He was shot in the torso, but when he was found, he had a plastic bag covered over his face.
Police have a prime suspect, his wife, Brookie Lee West.
Authorities believe that Brookie killed Howard because he was in the way of her getting away with insurance fraud.
But Brookie isn't charged. No one is.
Prosecutors just simply felt that they didn't have quite enough evidence to file the murder charges.
To this day, remains an open homicide investigation.
Brookie leaves the controversy behind and moves to Las Vegas to be with her sick mom.
Brookie! Can you help me, please?
I think what attracted Brookie and her mother here is the easy living.
But it isn't long before Brookie thinks of her life as hard labor. And it gets worse as Christine's mind deteriorates.
Brookie always wanted to have a different life for herself and saw that her mom was holding her back from being able to experience that type of life.
Brookie has a solution to her problem. But it won't involve a loving reconciliation.
When Christine Smith was last seen alive, the neighbor said that she appeared to be in somewhat of a tired, lethargic state. She saw Brooke West walk in and say, "Here, Mom, take more pills. It'll be good for you. It'll make you feel better."
Sometime in 1998, Brookie decides to take care of her mother for good.
That night was the last time that anybody other than Brookie West saw Christine Smith alive.
Christine, who raises her daughter to believe violence solves problems, has raised her own killer.
Christine Smith's very own daughter was looking at her mother's eyes when she was pressing that plastic bag over her nose and mouth and knowing what she was doing, that she was ultimately going to kill the woman that brought her on this earth.
Brookie is prepared. She has a garbage can ready, but she doesn't dump Mom. She stores her.
The fact that Brookie had so many things with her to help her commit the murder, tape, the plastic bag, this garbage bin large enough for a person, speaks to premeditation. This was not an accidental murder or crime of passion. This was planned out.
While her mother rots, Brookie Lee cashes in.
She collected over $30,000 in Social Security benefits. Money mattered to Brookie Lee West. She cared about her wealth.
Christine's body stays in storage for 3 years, until February 2001, when a foul stench alerts a storage worker.
plastic lining had caused a leak, and so some of the fluids of this body was what caused the smell to start emanating outside the storage unit.
Next to the body, they found a bunch of books about Satanism and witchcraft.
They discovered a human form that had practically melted into the bottom of that garbage can. Once you looked at that face, it could be translated as somebody who had suddenly experienced a frightful moment.
Police don't have to look far for a suspect. The storage unit is rented in Brookie's name, and a single fingerprint confirms her involvement.
A single fingerprint was recovered from this plastic wrapping and conclusively identified as Brookie Lee West.
Brookie Lee West is charged with her mother's murder.
Brooke West claimed at trial that her mom died of natural causes, and 2 days later she realized, oh, I have a dead body in the bedroom and I need to do something.
Christine's body tells a different story.
One thing that you look for is you look for blowflies because they're the first colonizers of a dead body. And if it's exposed to the air for several hours, you would find blowflies. We never found blowflies.
It's a bug's life that seals Brookie's fate.
The lack of the blowflies clearly indicated that Brooke West planned, premeditated, and deliberated this murder.
The jury agrees, and Brookie is found guilty of murder in the first degree.
She's currently serving a life prison sentence without the possibility of parole. She will never get out of a Nevada State institution. This case is so unique. It all comes down to the type of background that Brookie had as a young girl. I don't think that fruit fell very far from the tree.
I think it's safe to say Brookie had no regard for her mother at all. The way she killed her and disposed of her, pretty heartless.
These deadly women sacrificed friends and family. Dena Thompson charmed her way to murder. Louise Vermilia cashed in on corpses. And Brookie Lee West taught Mom a lesson. All three women murdered for money. They were driven by insatiable greed. There is one person a mother can usually charm, her son.
Mothers, whether they're good mothers or not, have tremendous influence over adolescent children.
A cash-hungry woman preys on her son's devotion.
She was going to leave unless he actually took his dad's life.
A mother resorts to torture and murder to protect her child's reputation.
She couldn't think of an assault bad enough, so she did it all.
Get in the bathroom!
Okay, now what did you bring?
And to hide her dirty deeds, a mom turns her son into a killer.
She created a new vortex of violence that night, ultimately turning them into killers.
These deadly women are blessed with their children's love. Through thick and thin, they can rely on Mommy's little helpers.
One more aim.
It's unfair to ask a child to get involved in adult business.
How had she progressed to getting her children to do such terrible things?
Or to take sides.
Hilma Marie used her own children to perform these acts of homicide that she wanted done.
It's the summer of 1981 in the coastal town of Beverly Shores, Indiana.
You got a ways to go before you go get your old man. Let's put it that way.
Brothers Eric and John Butch Whitty face the burden of many sons, trying to live up to their father's expectations. And 43-year-old Paul is a demanding man.
He fancied himself as a Davy Crockett type person. Liked the outdoors, took the boys camping, took the boys hunting.
Neither 15-year-old Eric nor 12-year-old John feel they can please Dad.
Why can't we see him miss?
They gravitated more towards their mother than they did their father.
The boys get 33-year-old Hilma's sympathy. Her marriage to Paul, 10 years her senior, isn't a bed of roses.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
God, that thing looked ugly on you anyway.
Oh, yeah, sis, the slob.
Hilma wasn't happy with her husband, Paul, after a few years. He was abusive. He hit her.
Who you calling a slob, you bitch?
Oh, yeah, big man.
Paul was such a big man and he was scary and he yelled loud. I figured divorce was in the cards. She just seemed very unhappy.
I hate you!
I hate you more!
But Hilma doesn't want a divorce.
She was afraid of being tossed out into the street and not being able to support her children.
She comes up with her own recipe for freedom.
But she didn't know what she was doing. She put rat poison, arsenic, and Valium in his food.
Is that good?
That's fine.
But there was no effect whatsoever.
By the end of summer, Hilma decides it's time for a more effective weapon. And she wants her sons to pull the trigger.
You. Not do it. Come on, step up.
The teens love their mom, but she's asking too much. Hilma isn't one to take no for an answer.
Hilma was quite the manipulator. When the boys wouldn't kill Paul, she left them there. She abandoned them.
One shot.
And said she wouldn't come back home until they had done the deed.
Hilma's emotional blackmail soon works. On the night of September 1st, 1981, 15-year-old Eric obeys one parent by murdering the other. One shot to the head.
It isn't surprising that Eric and John eventually gave in to their mother's demands. They were dependent on her for emotional support and financial support. And they were very young. They had nowhere to go.
I opened the newspaper and it said Beverly Shores man, age 44, shot dead. And I just knew it was him before I even read the article.
Hilma's half-sister, Regina Jordan, always thought something bad could happen, but not this. But it turns out the fatal shooting is deemed an accident.
It said that Eric had found a gun and he was going to go and ask his father about the gun and tripped over something and the gun discharged.
Dad? Dad? Help! Help!
Having been in their home and seen the disaster, the clutter that was there, it was easy to believe that he had actually done as the paper said.
Getting away with murder means moving up in the world. In Trail Creek, Indiana, the victim's own stepmother, 74-year-old Elaine Whitty, takes the family under her wing.
Elaine actually treated Hilma as the daughter she never had. Butch and Eric, they felt initially Elaine was just like a mother to them.
But getting a good home isn't enough for Hilma. She wants more.
After a period of time, it appeared that Hilma Marie was taking money out of Elaine's bank accounts.
There is something wrong here.
Well, maybe you forgot what you spent.
We believe Elaine became suspicious of that. And as a result, the relationship between Hilma Marie and Elaine became pretty strained.
And I'm going to get to the bottom of
She asks her daughter-in-law to leave. Standing up to Hilma is a dangerous thing to do.
The most important person in Hilma's life was Hilma. And what Hilma wanted, she got.
The summer of 1984, Hilma Whitty and her sons, Eric and John, have not only got away with murdering their father, Paul, they get rewarded. Hilma's mother-in-law, Elaine, takes pity on the family and invites them to live with her in Trail Creek, Indiana.
I just love having you here.
But Hilma is stealing Elaine's money, and she's been caught. Elaine has told them to leave, but Hilma has another idea. Once again, she calls on a son to do her dirty work, 14-year-old John, nicknamed Butch.
Hilma was motivated out of greed. If she couldn't get it herself, she'd get somebody else to do it for her.
Hilma Marie had told Butch that Elaine was going to kick him out of the house, that she was going to go to the police and turn him in. When his mother told him about killing Elaine, he was very negative about doing that.
John is fond of his grandma. He has to decide if Mother knows best.
He spent the night in his basement smoking marijuana as well as drinking vodka.
Hilma was quite the manipulator. John liked his grandmother, maybe even loved her. It was Mom that wanted her dead.
The next evening, the teenager proves his devotion to Mom. As the elderly Elaine sleeps, John musters the courage.
As a weapon, the crossbow is quite deadly because it's able to fire a bolt or an arrow with a great deal of force, with a great deal of velocity. She would probably be pinned in the bed because the arrow would be embedded in the bed clothing. This would have caused a slow, agonizing death.
Hilma's greed turns her two sons into killers.
Hilma killed her husband because she didn't want to lose any stuff in a divorce. Killed her mother-in-law to get the Social Security checks. Hilma just didn't want to take care of herself.
Her husband, Paul's death was ruled an accident.
I'll get the head, Eric get the legs.
But Hilma isn't taking any chances, trying to explain away the arrow.
Rather than call the police and risk another investigation, Hilma had her own mother and her son help her dismember Grandma.
They used everything they could think of to try to dispose of this body, to make them so unusual, so different that they didn't at all look like a human being. They've used a chisel to get through the joint spaces. They tried to put tissues down the garbage disposal, even a microwave, in order to shrink the tissues or to destroy them. They didn't know what a big job they'd undertaken.
I think the fact that Hilma was able to get her son to kill his own grandmother and cut her up showed phenomenal manipulation on the part of Hilma. And if I were John, I'd have been pretty frightened of my mother. If she can do that to Grandma, what might she do to me?
Elaine's friends are worried about her sudden disappearance and go to the police. When investigators start questioning the Whitty family, John cracks and names Hilma as the mastermind. The gory truth is revealed.
He confessed to the murder of Elaine Whitty and also told us about Paul Whitty being killed intentionally by Eric, his brother.
To this day, Hilma's half-sister can't understand how the two brothers ended up with blood on their hands.
How had she progressed to develop into getting her children to do such terrible things? Why would they agree to do it? I don't know.
John and Eric Whitty are convicted of voluntary manslaughter and serve 11 years behind bars.
To me, the most shocking part of the crime was not just the fact of the killings, but the fact that Hilma Marie used her own children to perform these acts of homicide that she wanted done.
Hilma Whitty is convicted of murder and conspiracy to commit murder. In 1986, she is sentenced to 90 years in prison.
In the end, Hilma got what she deserved. She manipulated her own children into murdering for her, and they turned on her. Hilda will probably die in prison, which is exactly where she belongs.
If a mom is too protective,
Come party with us?
She thought Cindy was going to hurt her son.
she can do more harm
She wanted to teach her a lesson
than good.
It was terribly brutal, it was torturous, it was sadistic.
1982, Cherokee County, Oklahoma. 41-year-old Lois Nadine Smith isn't your average reserved bookkeeper.
By the end of the week is fine for these.
Well, you won't be getting them any sooner.
She's earned a reputation around town as a woman not to be trifled with. Nadine has a short fuse.
The girl had a temper on her, and in high school it earned her the name
Mean Nadine.
The nickname sticks throughout her adult life.
Watch out. Watch. What did you say?
I said back off. She went off with the slightest provocation.
You want to make something of it?
Some of that was enhanced by a little bit of drug and drinking, but a lot of it was just Nadine's personality. She was a mean girl.
She was generally considered to be somewhat of a bully, and I think that the record in this case certainly bears that out.
But there is someone Nadine can never be tough on. Her son, Greg.
Most mothers love their children no matter what, and she was no different.
Nadine supports her 18-year-old son.
Come on, man. Pick up my lady.
Okay.
No matter what he does. She doesn't even care that he is dealing drugs with his 21-year-old girlfriend, Cindy Bailey.
Her son, Greg, could do no wrong, even when he really was in the wrong.
To cross Nadine Smith is to ask for trouble. To cross her child is much worse.
She was an extremely protective mother that she was willing, I think, to, in a sense, sacrifice her own life to save her son.
When the young couple breaks up, rumors circulate that Cindy is talking about the illegal drug dealing.
She also heard stories that Cindy was threatening to turn him in to the narcotics squad and get him busted for selling drugs. And even worse than that, she heard that Cindy was planning on killing Greg.
Although he has a new girlfriend, Teresa Baker, Greg seeks advice from the one woman he really trusts, his mom.
Bitch is gonna bring me down.
Well, you just gotta let her know she can't mess with you. Simple, man.
There is no evidence the rumors are true, but mean Nadine is ready to fight.
I'll show you.
She could not let that stand, so she went after Cindy.
Nadine has a plan to protect her son.
Open up in there.
But first, they need to convince Cindy to go on a road trip with her son and his girlfriend, Teresa. They coax her into a trap.
She talked Cindy into getting into the vehicle with them and going out and having a good time.
Cindy suspects nothing is wrong, even when she is given a warning.
Teresa Baker had tried to whisper some words to Cindy Bailey that she ought not to get in the vehicle.
Hey, it's not cool for you to get in the car.
Cindy apparently told Teresa that she could take care of herself and not to worry about it.
I can look after myself.
Cindy didn't hesitate. That doesn't sound to me like the actions of a woman who had made threats against that family.
Nadine wants to take Cindy on a journey, a one-way journey.
Cindy went along for the ride, but within minutes of getting in the back seat next to Nadine, she must have known she made a mistake.
In Cherokee County, Oklahoma, on Independence Day, July the 4th, 1982. Lois Nadine Smith is fighting her own battle. Rumors that her son's ex, Cindy Bailey, is threatening to tell the police about his drug dealing ignites Nadine's well-known temper.
I'm not lying! You'll never see Cherokee.
Nadine wrapped her hands around Cindy's throat and started choking her. She didn't choke her too much. She didn't want to kill her just yet.
Mom! She was was gonna hurt you with this.
When Greg finds a knife in Cindy's handbag, Nadine puts it to use.
Nadine had taken the knife and slowly punctured her neck there along the oral cavity. Cindy started bleeding and of course, was terrified.
Most mothers would instinctively protect their child from harm, but that wasn't what was going on here. Lois went to the extreme.
Nadine takes Cindy to her ex-husband's home in the small town of Gans.
Open over there! What the hell are you doing here? Get into the bathroom!
Jim Smith is not invited to the party.
I said shut it!
It's very hard to understand any thought process other than the idea that Nadine Smith thought that this woman threatened her son.
Cindy pleads for mercy, but Greg and his girlfriend, Teresa, won't defy Nadine.
She knew Greg Smith very well before, but the Greg Smith that she was dealing with on this day was obviously not a person who felt any kind of sympathy or empathy toward her.
Greg's loyalties lie with his mother, and there is now no stopping Nadine.
Nadine would point the gun at Cindy's stomach, and Cindy would move the pillow down to her stomach. Nadine would bring the pistol up to her head, and she would bring the pillow up to her head. She was taunting her in a very sadistic manner.
The taunting turns to terror.
That shot went through the chair. Nadine probably intended to miss, wanted to scare her even more.
If you had to do it, why'd you have to do it here? Get back in there and stay out of this!
Finally, Nadine just let go with all the bullets, shooting her all over her body.
This attack was brutal and lengthy. She thought Cindy was going to hurt her son. She believed that, and she vented her rage. She wanted to teach her a lesson. She had a party killing Cindy.
A mother protects her son with overkill.
She couldn't think of an assault bad enough to inflict on Cindy. So she did it all. She stabbed her, she shot her, and then she stomped on her neck before she finally killed her.
All the gunshots attract attention.
A police officer came to the door and said the neighbors had called the police, what was going on. Jim came out of the bathroom, apparently, and talked to the police and said, it's all right, we've solved everything, everything's okay.
That bought them time, so they were able to clean up after the murder.
Dutifully, mother's helpers attempt to disguise the scene.
They drug her body into the bedroom and then placed the gun in Cindy's hand in a pretty feeble attempt to make it look like a suicide.
Gun in there, and that's gonna look like a...
Cindy Bailey's battered body, a warning to anyone that considers crossing Nadine.
Hey, you listen to me. You say a word, and you're next. You understand?
Yeah.
Neighbors continued to call, concerned about what was going on in the house. The police returned, and this time, no one was there. Nothing was there, except the dead body of Cindy.
Cindy was I thought, a pretty girl, but certainly wasn't that day. She was pretty bloody.
Alert neighbors identify 3 people leaving the house, and police pull one of them aside, Teresa Baker.
We got Teresa Baker off by herself, and wasn't too long before she broke down in tears and told us what happened. She just witnessed a horrific act. It was terribly brutal, it was torturous, it was sadistic. It would upset anybody to see what that girl saw.
In exchange for immunity, Teresa testifies against the mother and son. On December 29th, 1982, Lois Nadine Smith is found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to death.
For his role in the crimes, Greg was convicted of murder and given life in prison.
Nadine's culpability was greater than Greg's. Greg was still a young man, obviously under the influence of his mother. The jury spoke and justice was done.
19 years later, in 2001, Nadine is executed by lethal injection.
She did it because she wanted to, and it was in her. It was in Lois to be a brutal, sadistic killer.
Children are taught to obey their parents.
Edith was incapable of being a good mother to her son.
But what if mommy asks you to help? Commit murder.
If evil ever visited Glasgow, it visited Glasgow that night in that flat.
Open the door!
The ancient port city of Glasgow, Scotland, has served shipping across the Atlantic for hundreds of years. There are rough and tumble seaside neighborhoods here, and in 2004, Cross Hill is one of them.
Cross Hill on the south side of Glasgow is an area of high unemployment, high drug use and alcohol use, and as a result of that, the violence there is unfortunately quite high.
One woman knows the harsh environment well. 37-year-old Edith McAlinden.
Edith McAlinden came from a very troubled background. She was neglected as a child. She was abusing drink very early on.
Edith really didn't have much of a chance of having a decent life as an adult because of her childhood.
Homeless and drinking alcohol by the age of 10, Edith lives by the rules of the street.
Edith McAlinden was a colourful character, but not one to be meddled with. She was no stranger to crimes. She could and would prey on individuals who could be the source of money for her.
She was also known for having a very short temper. She was quick to use violence.
She was into prostitution, drinking, bullying, assaulting people before she was even an adolescent.
Edith knows how to survive, but she is burdened by more than her own welfare. She's a single mom to 16-year-old John.
Edith was incapable of being a good mother to her son. He was in and out of foster care. Edith couldn't take care of herself. She certainly couldn't take care of a young boy.
Come on!
Despite his mother's shortcomings, John and his best friend, Jamie Gray, adore Edith, even when she's jailed for assault.
John was fairly immature, certainly not on the radar of the local law enforcement. Jamie Gray was the same age as John McAlinden, and they were at times inseparable. Where John went, usually Jamie wouldn't be far away.
October 17th, 2004. It is a day of celebration for Edith, her first day of freedom after serving 9 months for assault.
Edith had been released from prison and had spent that time in a very serious drinking binge.
She's catching up with old friends. Her boyfriend, 42-year-old David Gillespie, and an old drinking companion, 67-year-old Ian Mitchell.
Ian Mitchell was a retired joiner. He was divorced. He had a flat in Cross Hill. He was something of a seasoned drinker, but not known as a troublemaker, and was very well liked.
Let's go, guys. Come on, man. Time to go.
It's my first day of freedom.
The party lasts longer than the local pub stays open. The trio decide to go back to Ian's apartment.
The three had returned to Ian Mitchell's flat to continue with the drinking session with excessive alcohol in the flat in the comfort of that home.
Edith has her freedom and is back with friends. But then there is a lover's tiff.
At some stage thereafter, there has been some kind of spark between Edith McAlinden and David Gillespie.
What'd she say? She's got something wrong with her.
What the disagreement was, no one will ever know, but Edith lost her temper entirely. She went to the kitchen. She came back with a kitchen knife.
To me, I can't believe it!
And she stabbed David in both of his legs.
Something annoyed her, and she just went straight to the top level and meted out violence, which eventually caused his death.
He simply sat and bled to death.
One day out of prison, Edith's temper shows its true potential. And it's only just the beginning. Glasgow, Scotland, 2004. On the day 37-year-old Edith McAlinden is released from prison after an assault charge. She is getting into more fights. Within hours of being freed, she ends her relationship with 42-year-old David Gillespie by taking his life. There is a witness, apartment owner Ian Mitchell.
I get the boys! What the? I get the boys!
He doesn't flee, but waits while Edith gets her son, John, and his friend Jamie to come and help.
Edith had a long history of manipulating people and probably learned on the street how to keep people from getting upset. And that's exactly what she did that night.
Go pay the taxi, the boys are here! Go! Go!
And indeed, Ian Mitchell was conned into going down and paying for that taxi. He would have had an opportunity to escape at that point, but didn't realise what was in Edith McAlinden's mind.
Ian saw everything. Okay, now what did you bring?
Edith doesn't want the boys to get rid of the body. She wants them to get rid of the witness.
Ian Mitchell would or could be a source of her having to return to prison, and that was not a thought that she wished to court anytime soon.
The boys have no grievance with Ian, but for Edith, they are prepared to take his life.
Edith was skilled at getting men to do things that she wanted them to do, and her son was no different.
The three of them set about a level of brutal violence against Ian Mitchell, such as I haven't witnessed before in my experience as a detective in Glasgow in 30 years. It's very clear to me that if evil ever visited Glasgow, it visited Glasgow that night in that flat, in the form of Edith McAlinden.
It was easy for Edith to turn her own son into a killer because Edith didn't see anything wrong with that.
But the savagery doesn't end there. Ian has a tenant, 71-year-old Tony Coyle, who arrives home in the middle of the murder.
Tony Coyle was a lovely Irish gentleman who lived a very quiet life in the Glasgow area and had a bedsit in that flat. The wrong place, the wrong time for him to be in that flat, and as a result, he was another witness who couldn't be allowed to tell their tale.
Get it! Get it, boys! Get it! Get it! Go, go!
Tony manages to lock himself in his room.
Open the door! Get it, boys! Come on, open the door! Come on!
She had to get into that room. She had to get hold of that man, and she had to kill him.
Hurry up! Get in there! Come on!
I can't even imagine what must have been going through Tony's mind, the fear he must have been feeling.
Go! Go! Get it! Come on! Get it!
Once they gained access, they assaulted him in that bedroom.
Come on!
I have never seen violence on such a scale in any of the crime scenes that I visited before or since.
3 innocent men, fatally assaulted. But Edith wants to make sure.
One way that she was going to be sure was to pour boiling water over these men. To see if they responded in any way, to see if they were still alive.
If Edith was capable of doing that, she was capable of doing anything.
Satisfied, the witnesses are silenced. Edith orders the boys home, but she stays and gets a neighbor to call the police.
You gotta take care of her.
They found Edith McAlinden cradling the body of David Gillespie.
Mom, what's happening? What's happening? Someone's killed my boyfriend!
It's a dangerous move for a murderer to stay at the scene. But Edith thinks she can act her way out of it.
Edith had come upon the scene and found these poor gentlemen already dead. There must have been a fight between them all. And she carried that off quite well.
But Edith's son, John, is telling another story about his murderous deeds. Police find it hard to believe such violence could be the work of teenagers until they examine the boys' clothes.
We found aerial transmission of blood from the victims on various parts of their clothing. The people wearing those items of clothing must have been in close proximity when the injuries were inflicted.
With overwhelming evidence, the trio are charged with the 3 murders. They plead not guilty, but change their minds once the jury sees the horrific crime scene video.
It was like something out of a horror movie. Such a very small area in one room where multiple attacks, multiple injuries and multiple victims were strewn around with evidence everywhere, broken tables, chairs, overturned blood, pieces of human tissue on the ceiling.
It is dubbed the House of Blood.
That video must have had an effect. The accused, Edith McAlinden, John McAlinden and Jamie Gray, changed their pleas from not guilty to 1 murder each. Edith McAlinden pled guilty to the murder of David Gillespie. John McAlinden and Jamie Gray to the murders, each of Ian Mitchell and Tony Cole.
In 2005, John McAlinden and Jamie Gray each received 12 years for murder.
Of the many tragedies of the case, one of them is that Edith McAlinden has caused her son and Jamie Gray to become two of the most violent murderers in Scotland. I find that still quite difficult to wrestle with, and it challenges my belief in mankind and womankind.
John may get over what happened that night, but John is not going to get over his mother. She ruined his life.
Edith McAlinden gets life with a minimum of 13 years. She is eligible for parole in 2018.
Edith didn't kill as many people as other killers have, but she's one of the most evil I've ever seen.
These deadly women abused their children's love. Hilma Whitty's greed pushed her sons into murder. Lois Nadine Smith's idea of devotion was to inflict torture. And Edith McAlinden's temper dragged her son into unspeakable violence. All three women made murder a family affair. Their children had no choice but to be Mommy's little helpers. They say a happy wife means a happy life. Some men forget this advice
you gotta help me, babe.
at their own risk. A gangster's maul learns all the tricks of the trade.
Inside, she's as tough as nails. You wouldn't want to cross her.
A material woman knows just what her husband is worth.
She had the ability to know right from wrong, and she chose to do wrong.
Get on that bed!
And a long-suffering spouse
Shut up! No!
turns the tables.
She was like a little mouse being put through narrower and narrower corridors.
These women can't resist the temptation to become self-made widows. London's East End, today a bustling market hub. But during the 60s, this working-class neighborhood is the Cockney capital of armed robbery.
A deprived area and not much work, everybody poor, hard-working, basically honest people, but being so deprived, of course, crime thrived in that area.
Criminals strike fear into the hearts of some and desire into the hearts of others.
Linda Calvi is a woman who never met a bad boy she didn't like.
She had a real look about her, a 60s, twiggy model, Carnaby Street, but she was a beautiful, buxom-looking woman.
Smoldering 20-year-old Linda Welford is born to be on the arm of a gangster.
She seemed to have this big influence over the men she met, and certainly was never short of male attention and admirers.
Today's admirer is one of London's most hardened armed robbers.
He must be Mickey.
26-year-old Mickey Calvi.
Can I get me a drink then?
You think you're worth it?
He did all the top jobs. He was what they call a stand-on man. He was very respected and he wouldn't let anyone down.
Linda's friend, Katie Cray, is one woman who knows what it's like to marry an infamous gangster.
I was married to Ronnie Cray, one half of the Cray twins, the notorious Cray twins.
Mickey's just out of prison. To Linda, his long rap sheet is pure catnip.
I thought you'd be pug ugly.
Come on, then.
And from that minute, she had Mickey Calvi.
She was looking for some excitement in her life. The easy road was not the road for Linda.
Which is just as well. Mickey soon ends up behind bars, and Linda learns there's nothing conventional about criminal life. Not even your wedding.
Mickey was in prison at the time when they got married, and he was handcuffed right the way through the ceremony. So that was Linda's introduction to marriage.
On Mickey's release in 1978, another lesson. Criminal rewards may be high, but the risks are too. During a botched armed robbery, Mickey pays with his life.
Scotland Yard's flying squad team ambushed the gang.
Mickey ended up turning toward the cop with a shotgun, and the cop shot him first.
With her husband dead,
Haven't caught you at a bad time, have I?
the East End criminal community rallied to support Linda.
One of the big names and one of the most successful armed robbers at the time, a man called Ronnie Cook.
Yeah, doing all right for money?
Not too bad.
Threw a benefits party to raise money for Linda and the family.
If there's anything you need, you just let old Ronnie know, yeah?
Linda's never going to be alone for long.
Anything.
Actually, there is something.
Ronnie Cook is another gangster heavyweight who falls under her spell.
That is something.
He'd kind of really fallen for her, and he'd sort of lavished her with gifts.
He took her to Vegas, he bought the best fur coats, the best jewellery, everything that she wanted, Ronnie got for her.
But soon, Linda is on her own once again. In 1981, Ronnie goes to prison for 16 years for armed robbery.
Ronnie was jailed for his part in one of the biggest robberies in the UK.
I miss you.
I miss you so much.
I don't think you miss me like I miss you.
I've got something to show you.
Linda was completely besotted by Ronnie Cook, and she promised that when he went to jail that she would wait for him.
True love, Ron Cook.
And she had a tattoo done on her leg saying, "True love, Ronnie."
It's lovely, isn't it?
But 16 years is a long time to be without a man.
Listen, I've arranged for someone to look after you while I'm in here, yeah?
Okay.
So Ronnie makes sure Linda is looked after.
He's a good lad. He'll do what I say.
He basically arranged for one of his trusted friends, Brian Thorogood, himself an experienced armed robber.
He'll do what he says because he's doing what I say.
To look after Linda and to provide her with money. Thorogood gave her £100 spending money every week, for instance.
See, even when I'm in here, I'm looking after you.
But once again, the inevitable. Linda's famous allure snags yet another gangster.
Once again, Linda just cast a spell completely over Brian Thorogood. And he fell totally hook, line, and sinker in love with Linda.
He kept an eye on her, all right. He left his wife and moved in with her.
Brian not only takes Ronnie's lover,
Don't worry, he'll never know.
but his criminal empire too.
Linda didn't just want to be with men that were criminals. She wanted to be a criminal herself.
For years, Linda has learnt from the best. Now she's ready to prove how tough she is.
Please help me! Stop! Stop, please!
Linda's armed robbery operation was very sophisticated.
Get out there and check this out.
One of the robberies, she made out to be pregnant.
She suddenly produced a gun from her tummy. These guys were completely stunned.
Open the van! Now!
Linda is a natural. But soon, like her husband and her lovers, her criminal career is cut short.
Linda Calvi got 7 years and 4 months for armed robbery. So now she's got Mickey, who's dead. She's got Ronnie Cook serving 16 years in prison. And now there's Brian Thorogood with 22 years.
While Linda and Brian are behind bars, Ronnie hears rumors of their affair.
Ronnie said that he would kill Brian Thorogood if he met him again. But he absolutely adored Linda and he forgot her straight away.
Ronnie can forgive infidelity, but will he be so big-hearted when he finds out his mistress's other secret?
She had been going through Ronnie's loot that she was supposed to be safeguarding like a sailor on leave.
East London, 1989. Linda Calvi has graduated from Gangster Mall to Gangster.
Don't you move!
But after serving 4 years for armed robbery, she has another worry. She's been stealing her boyfriend's money.
She was fearful of the retribution which Cook would visit on her once he discovered that all his money was gone.
Ronnie Cook is a tough man. Linda needs someone even tougher to help her. 35-year-old inmate Danny Reese fits the bill.
Danny Reese was known as the most dangerous man in the prison system.
I'm scared of Ronnie.
Big, strong, powerful man, did lots of weights.
I want him dead.
Linda went to see Danny in prison.
I can pay you 10,000.
And offered him 10,000 pounds to kill Ronnie.
Linda will use the last of Ronnie's money to hire his killer. But it's not the cash that makes Danny's heart beat faster.
He said from the moment he saw her, he just fell for her.
I'm sure we can work something out.
And she just cast her spell on Danny, and Danny was an extremely dangerous man.
Both Ronnie and Danny are coming to the end of their sentences. They're eligible for day release from prison. Linda is going to invite them both home.
Linda had arranged for Danny Reese to be on a 2-day release.
On November 18th, 1990, Ronnie plans to meet Linda at home for dinner. But first, Linda picks up Danny for the warmest of welcomes.
Cooked him dinner, and they had a little party in Linda's house.
That smells delicious.
But they'll be serving more than dinner when Ronnie arrives.
She sent Cook into the house ahead, carrying the shopping.
When Danny Reese came in, he shot him with a sawn-off shotgun.
But Danny is not the hardened hitman Linda expected.
What Danny couldn't do, Linda was willing to do. more than willing.
Kneel! Kneel!
She made him kneel in front of her and look at her.
Linda, please!
Cook would have been devastated. This was a woman that he trusted and had a relationship with, was obviously infatuated by him.
Please! Don't!
She shot him in the face with the shotgun. That's not killing someone, that's obliterating them.
It was cold-blooded murder, very callous, calculated, and without any remorse.
Danny Reese then left the scene and then got on the train back to his prison, went back into the prison system and got back in his cell and carried on his sentence. Which, you think about it, it's almost a perfect alibi, isn't it?
Linda plans to inherit Ronnie's criminal empire and his money.
I heard him yelling.
By blaming the murder on his gangster associates.
Then I heard a loud bang.
She suggested that it might be any one of a number of underworld figures.
But when police find fingerprints at the scene belonging to Danny Reese, Linda can't bank on loyalty from her criminal lover.
They picked up Danny. He sang like a bird. He told him exactly what happened.
In November 1991, despite not firing the fatal shot, Daniel Reese is found guilty of murder and sentenced to life.
Linda was very skilled at manipulating men to do what she wanted, even if it was murder.
Linda Calvi is also found guilty of murder and sentenced to a minimum of 15 years.
Linda never expressed any remorse or showed any guilt or shame for what she did to Ronnie, the man that she said she truly loved and meant everything to her.
The story should end there, but in a bizarre twist, in prison, Linda marries Danny Reese, the man who put her there.
In an extraordinary wedding ceremony attended by a number of women serving life sentences for a bizarre collection of grisly murders and so on.
By the time Linda is released in 2008, the marriage is over. Just in time for the next man in line.
So Linda was actually picked up at the finish of her 17 years in prison in a white convertible Rolls Royce by her latest beau. So watch this space.
She draws them into her web simply by the force of her personality.
In 2009, 61-year-old Linda says, "I do," for the third time. Her 76-year-old husband has no criminal past.
Her husband joked at the wedding, well, you know, at my age, if she kills me, she kills me.
Linda's a really beautiful, beautiful woman, but inside she's as tough as nails. You wouldn't want to cross her.
Actions speak a lot louder than words, and shotguns are loudest of all.
Lord, thank you for the food we are about to receive.
We think we know the people we love.
Amen.
You just never know what type of person you're talking to or dealing with.
But some women hide behind a mask so well
that an individual can be this sick, this disturbed,
that even loved ones can't see their true natures.
She had the ability to know right from wrong, and she chose to do wrong.
San Luis Obispo, California, February 2000. Working as a counselor at a boot camp for wayward teens, 32-year-old Angelina Fuller can't take her eyes off her coworker, Frank Rodriguez.
Now, we read some of the Gospel according to Matthew together. Do you remember?
Everybody loved Frank. He was a saint, just a super guy, very, very religious guy.
Forgiveness, okay? So I want you to go back in there and I want you to step up, okay?
41-year-old Frank's marriage has just ended.
Good stuff.
And he finds himself drawn to Angelina's charm.
She was a very outgoing person, very talkative person, seemed very intelligent.
How did it go?
Yeah, not bad. They got some issues to get over, but they'll get there.
You're so good with them.
Drive me crazy sometimes.
Angelina's smile masks a tragic past. In 1993, she experiences every mother's worst nightmare.
She had laid the baby down for a nap.
Come on, sleepyhead.
Angelina's youngest daughter, 13-month-old Alicia, died suddenly in her crib. The rubber nipple
Oh my God.
was found in Alicia's throat.
Alicia! Alicia!
This is the worst thing that can happen to a parent.
The devastating death puts an end to Angelina's marriage.
It's not unusual for couples to divorce after the death of a child.
7 years later, Angelina wants to make a new start. So does her coworker, Frank. And just 3 months after meeting, the couple marry.
They moved down to Montebello, where they rented a house after being married.
He was the perfect guy. He loved her and would do anything for her.
But the honeymoon period is short-lived. Once again, Angelina is plagued by bad luck. A month after they marry, a gas leak fills their house with dangerous fumes. Frank narrowly escapes disaster.
Fortunately, Frank noticed something was wrong and called the gas company, and they fixed it. What he should have done that he didn't do was run like the wind.
Frank thinks he's the luckiest man alive.
Lord, thank you for the food we are about to receive.
And thank you for protecting us against the gas leak.
But Angelina is not the devoted Christian wife she seems.
Within a few short months, she started growing tired of Frank. Angelina was having an affair with a gentleman by the name of Matt.
Angelina covers her deceit perfectly.
You poor thing. What are you doing sitting up?
Even playing the dutiful wife when Frank suddenly becomes sick.
And there we go. How are you feeling?
The physician told Angelina it was food poisoning and to give him a sports drink to keep him hydrated.
Despite Angelina nursing him with sports drinks,
The doctor said you need more fluids. Come on.
Frank's illness goes from bad to worse.
He'd have felt lousy like he had the flu.
All right.
Vomiting, muscle aches and pains, weakness, lethargy,
Come on, I need it.
kind of drifting off.
There you go.
Nobody realizes just how serious Frank's illness is.
Drink.
Or the true cause.
You just never know what type of person you're talking to or dealing with.
Open up. All right.
The quiet town of Montebello, Southern California. September 9th, 2000. Angelina Rodriguez wakes in the early hours to a nightmare.
She found him on the floor in the bedroom.
Angelina calls 911.
She explained to them that he'd been sick. She had taken him to the doctor and that type of stuff.
Police are at a loss. as to how an otherwise healthy 41-year-old could die from the flu. But then Angelina gets a mysterious phone call.
I received a call. He said he knew who killed Frank.
An unknown caller had called her and said that he had killed Frank and that never be able to prove it, and they used antifreeze.
He said to tell them to check for antifreeze.
An autopsy soon reveals the caller is correct.
Or equivalent amounts of 5 to 6 shots. Antifreeze.
Yeah, he said if they test and they find it there, then they'll...
The call helps police prove Frank's death is murder.
When did you get this call?
Last night.
But there's one problem.
All right, well, thank you for coming in. We'll be sure to check that out.
Thank you.
Then we checked her phone records and we realized that she did not receive a phone call that day during that time on her phone. No call, it was made up.
No call came in. But police find hundreds of calls out to Angelina's lover. When detectives question him, they make a shocking discovery.
You know, I'm not really always sneaking around.
On one occasion, when Angelina had come up to visit him and stay with him.
We don't have to do it for that much longer.
What are you gonna do?
I've already done it.
What have you done?
I left the gas on in the garage.
She made a comment that, you know, maybe by the time she gets home, the house would have exploded and Frank would be dead.
The gas leak is no accident. Angelina wants her husband's money, but not her husband.
Angelina convinced Frank to take out a $250,000 life insurance policy on himself and make her the sole beneficiary.
But without a cause of death, the insurance company won't release funds. So Angelina makes up the incriminating phone call.
She thought she was being clever, as most psychopaths do. But in fact, she was painting red concentric circles right on her own forehead.
Angelina is arrested for murder, but she has one more trick up her sleeve: eliminating a key witness.
You knew what I was doing. You didn't say anything. You can go to jail for that, you know.
Yeah? They haven't arrested me yet.
This is getting bigger than anyone could have imagined. You don't shut your mouth. You're gonna regret this.
One of Angelina's friends was going to testify against her.
I'm gonna regret it? You know what? Don't talk to me. I don't want to hear from you again.
Angelina didn't want that to happen, so she attempted to have her killed.
Angelina approaches a fellow inmate
How do you want it done?
to organize the hit.
I was thinking robbery gone bad. Someone to come in and shoot her in the head is not exactly out of the ordinary.
So, I think I found a middleman.
And soon she gets news from the outside.
Super, right?
The job is done, and she'll be walking free.
Antonia.
She made some statements that without her being in the picture, she was going to go free.
But once again, Angelina wasn't quite as smart as those around her.
I'm doing much better.
The hit is actually a police sting.
They had a makeup artist that basically looked like she had sustained a gunshot wound.
We had an undercover officer go visit Angelina in jail, and during the visit, he showed her the photographs.
Angelina's joy is short-lived. Her plot seals her fate.
She had a look on her face that I'll never, ever forget. She turned as white as a ghost, and she realized that she had been caught, that her gig was up.
But there's one last horrifying twist. Police look into the death of Angelina's 13-month-old daughter.
Alicia's death turned out to be very lucrative for Angelina. The payoff from the manufacturer of the pacifier was $750,000.
Detectives re-examine the forensic evidence and make an unthinkable discovery.
We noticed some things that weren't consistent with the pacifier just coming unglued. That an individual can be this sick, this disturbed to take a pacifier and basically shove it down your baby's throat.
Lord, thank you for the food we are about to
And then to live with yourself all these years.
Thank you for protecting us against
This whole case, I mean, just everything she did was just appalling.
When Angelina received that huge check for her daughter's death, it reinforced that murder is not such a bad thing, especially if you could get away with it.
In October 2003, Angelina Rodriguez is found guilty of the first-degree murder of her husband, Frank. During sentencing, the prosecution tells the jury how she killed her daughter. Angelina is sentenced to death.
I think, but once they heard strong evidence that she had killed their 13-month-old baby back in '93, again for money, I don't think it was that difficult for most.
At sentencing, the judge said, in his 20 years on the bench, Angelina had the coldest heart he'd ever seen. She told him she had lived her life with integrity. The gavel came down, and Angelina will be living the rest of her life with integrity on death row.
Angelina Rodriguez is awaiting execution at the Central California Women's Facility.
She had the ability to know right from wrong, and she chose to do wrong.
When criminals are gunned down,
he was a danger to society.
It seems safe to assume it's a gangland hit.
Betrayed and murdered and left on a road to die.
But life is never that simple. Albany, New York, 1920. Italian immigrant Anna Capello lives in a violent gut district,
which was rife with prostitutes, drug running, gun running, and a great many very nefarious occupations, people trying to make a buck any way they could. Someone like Anna had very few opportunities.
But 16-year-old Anna has plans for escape in the form of Salvatore Antonio.
Sal was almost twice her age, 30 years old.
Captivated by her childlike charms, Sal wants to make Anna his wife.
Anna was a tiny woman. She had the build, the fragile bones of a sparrow.
Sal has a good job.
My daughter tells me you work in the railroad, yeah?
Yeah, I'm a brakeman. It's a good job, good money.
And solid prospects.
Salvatore Antonio was a working man. He was a union guy with the railroad.
And what are your intentions with my daughter?
My intentions are the very best, sir. I hope that one day she'll be my wife.
Despite the 14-year age gap, Anna's parents give the couple their blessing.
All right, you have my blessing.
Thank you, sir.
But Anna doesn't really know who she's marrying.
Salute.
Salute.
Sal isn't the man he appears to be.
So, is there a problem with the gun? Huh? Enough fire bullets?
He was involved in a number of nefarious activities. Selling guns, hung around with bad people.
Sal and his associates have a very successful little earner.
How about dope? Huh? Dope good for you, huh? Huh?
Selling a product new to the market, heroin.
Prohibition was the law then. One couldn't get a drink, and people looked for other methods to relieve their emotional pain.
So in those days, heroin addiction was very common.
Sal runs his drug and gun racket with an iron fist.
You got 24 hours, not a minute later. You understand me? Huh? Go. Go on. Go!
And is just as dangerous at home.
10 o'clock, not a minute later.
He had very strict rules for Anna, exactly how she was to behave at all times. And he enforced these rules by beating her whenever she was negligent in his eyes.
Anna discovers the truth about her husband's temperament too late.
Not now, Sal. I'm gonna be late.
Late for what?
I'm going to the theater with Sally.
Going to the theater with Sally? Excuse me?
Sally has tickets.
No, I don't care what you got. You're staying home.
But Sal, I told you about these weeks ago.
Now they are married. There's no escaping his temper.
Are you talking back to me?
Going to the theater, I'm not...
In New York State, until 1966, you could not get a divorce except if you could prove adultery.
Don't you talk to me like that again.
No!
Get on that bed!
In other words, a man could beat his wife to smithereens, and she could not divorce him on those grounds.
Get on that bed!
Get on the bed! No!
Shut up!
No!
Yes!
His wife was his chattel. That is how Sal treated Anna, and she had nowhere to go.
For 12 years, Anna is a long-suffering wife.
Let me look. Girls, clean up that mess now. Go!
Life for a woman was very, very difficult. All the housework had to be done by hand, including washing, clothes, the house, the kids, and preparing 3 or 4 meals a day.
Anna shoulders the burden of the housework and her husband's rage.
Why can't you keep the house in order? What is wrong with you?
Okay, girls, it's time for your bath. Marie, go run the bath. Phyllis, go help your brother. Go.
Dinner ready?
Shielding her family from the brunt of Sal's brutality.
Sauce is still cooking.
There was not much happiness in the Antonio household.
She was evidently a good and attentive mother, but her husband presented enormous problems for her.
Perhaps a man with an enterprise like Sal's will not be around forever. Albany, New York, 1932. Anna Antonio is married to a vicious gangster.
I'm not getting on the bed.
Get on that bed!
I'm not getting on the bed!
Salvatore Antonio was not a nice guy. He was a danger to society. He was involved in gun activity, selling illegal drugs, brutalizing his wife and family.
Close your eyes. Close them. She took 2 sips and began to grow very tall.
On March 27th, 1932, Anna reads bedtime stories to her children.
But she just kept on growing.
While Sal is out with his gangland pals, Vince Saeta and Sam Faraci.
Go over here.
What's going on?
A funny guy wants to take a leak.
No, come on, we gotta get back. Let's go.
But in the middle of nowhere, the night takes a fateful turn.
They had stopped the car in a remote area, apparently to relieve themselves.
The younger one, Saeta, pulled out a gun and began to fire at Sal.
Get the knife, finish him! Say you gotta help me.
He begged for his life, saying, "What have I ever done to you?"
You gotta help me, man. I can't help you. Finish him!
The job is done. When a gangster is killed, the first suspects are his criminal associates.
The police eventually found out that the night before Sal was murdered, he went out to dinner with Sayeda and Faraci. And they questioned them.
All I'm telling you is I didn't kill the guy.
We can't go until we get to the bottom of this.
I've already told you.
Well, we got all day.
I told you, I was there, but I didn't kill him. It wasn't me.
Being hardened criminals,
What do you want me to tell you again?
they didn't give up any information right away.
Were you the stabber or the shooter?
After 3 days, Vince and Sam turn on each other.
I did not kill him.
I was there, but he's the one that killed him.
Vince. Vince did it.
But when that doesn't work, they try another bold tactic. The truth.
Okay.
She offered us $800. She said he had 2 life insurance policies.
He beats me. I have no other way out.
What do you want me to do?
Stop him.
They told the police that they had a meeting with Anna, and she promised to pay them $800 to kill her husband.
Whatever it takes, I'll give you $800.
Where are you gonna get that kind of money?
He has 2 life insurance policies.
Through his legitimate railway job, Sal has life insurance. $5,300 worth.
I know somebody that can help.
It's enough to finance his murder and set up Anna and her family for life.
She couldn't possibly have paid these 2 assailants if she didn't have the insurance money. She had no money of her own.
Sympathetic to Anna's predicament and hungry for cash, Vince and Sam agreed to take care of Sal.
Hey, what's going on?
Police can hardly believe
I didn't do it.
that Sal's tiny widow put a price on his head.
I had no other way out.
When they saw little Anna Antonio, they couldn't believe that she would plot her husband's murder.
I had no other way out.
Her choices grew less and less. She was like a little mouse being put through narrower and narrower corridors with only one way out that she could see.
In April 1933, Vince Sayeda and Sam Faraci are found guilty of first-degree murder. Their sentence, death.
The men thought they were going to get away with it because a woman was involved.
Anna Antonio is also found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to death.
There was a lot of sympathy and effort on her behalf to stop this execution. The judicial system would have no part of it, said she received a fair trial and the sentence should be carried through.
In August 1934, at Sing Sing Prison, New York, Anna Antonio walks to the electric chair, leaving her children behind.
When she saw what was happening to her family, that her son was taken by a relative, but her 2 daughters went to an orphanage, she probably very much regretted her decision to have her husband murdered.
Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from all evil.
She looked very fragile and doll-like there.
For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory.
She put her head down, her chin on her chest. She said the last prayer with the Catholic priest before they turned on the electrode.
Anna's plan to protect her family failed, and she pays with her life.
I don't think Anna was a natural-born killer at all, or a psychopath. This looks to me like a murder that was self-defense by proxy. She had nowhere to go, but she couldn't stay.
These deadly women plan to profit from murder. Linda Calvi killed to protect herself and her ill-gotten gains. Angelina Rodriguez valued money more than lives.
Drink.
And Anna Antonio wanted her brutal husband gone for good. All three killed for profit. They were self-made widows. For some women, taking control means taking lives.
He's going to regret this. You're not going to get custody.
A mom wants custody of her child.
What did you say?
At any cost.
Big problem. He unleashed a monster.
Stop it!
An obsessed neighbor fans the flames of jealousy.
She was clearly a ticking time bomb.
And with this mom, the cost of lodging is death.
She got a thrill out of making people do things for her.
These women's desire for dominance makes them cold as ice. Early, a tiny farming community in Iowa. A quiet, peaceful town. Then on December 13th, 2001, 35-year-old Tracy Richter has just put her 11-year-old son, Bert, to bed when she is the victim of a violent home invasion.
The big guy was dragging her around with pantyhose, slid her down the hallway.
Shut that kid up!
She overheard the little guy telling Bert behind the door, you know, shut up or you're next. And then the motherly instincts kicked in.
A mother's love gives Tracy the courage to fight back.
She was able to hop from the bed, unlock the gun safe, turn around.
She's got guns!
Fire. With precision, shot this intruder.
The big guy takes off running and she can hear him bounding down the stairs and opening the front door.
Mrs. Richter, you must have been scared. Was it hard to think under pressure?
You know, I just went into autopilot.
Tracy's sharpshooting feat
And how many shots exactly?
makes her an instant media sensation.
I believe it was 11, and 9 of which hit their mark.
She's like a local hero. You know, she's like a poster child for the NRA.
That's some pretty sharp shooting.
She was viewed as Wonder Woman.
And how did you get the mark on your neck?
Oh, this is when they tried to strangle me with the pantyhose.
There was no doubts or questions in anyone's mind that what she did was wrong.
Nate, jump in and get close up.
This modern-day Annie Oakley enjoys the attention.
She put a spotlight on herself because of the things that she said and the things that she did.
But Tracy's not telling her whole story. 13 years earlier, in Denver, Colorado, Tracy, a beautiful 21-year-old, marries Dr. John Pittman.
So I hear you guys are doctors.
Oh, I'm not a doctor. I'm a radiologist.
I'm a surgeon.
The college sweethearts seem a perfect match.
We met at college.
Tracy is studying radiology. She meets a man, the man of her dreams, if you will, and he's studying medicine.
They are an ambitious young couple.
They see their lives just going from one step to the next, up that ladder of life. It's gonna be perfect.
The arrival of a son 2 years later completes the perfect picture.
You get that expression when you sleep, too.
After their son was born, it seemed to outsiders that their marriage was flourishing.
But like many women, Tracy struggles with the demands of being a new mom.
Why don't you stay and help?
And John's long days at work add to her stress.
What time will you be home? Midnight?
5. John's training to be a surgeon kept him out of the house about 120 hours a week.
Being home alone with a baby isn't Tracy's idea of fun. She soon finds a way to keep herself amused.
Boy, am I glad to see you.
You look at Tracy, and it's like she always wants something more. Happiness is not enough. A child is not enough. So I gotta what? I gotta up the ante again, and I gotta start an affair.
Tracy thinks it's her dirty little secret. But John is no fool.
He started suspecting Tracy was seeing other men.
Can I help you? Yeah, hi,
He hires a private investigator.
It's to check on my wife.
But nothing could prepare John for the report.
Not only did that investigator have his suspicions about Tracy, he told John the best thing he could do was to get out of that marriage, that he was in danger.
By 1992, the Pittmans' marriage is as rocky as the Colorado mountains.
My patient needed me.
You always have some excuse.
You really think I want to work these hours? I have no choice.
They got into an argument, and he decided to leave the house.
I have to go.
Oh, no, you don't.
Tracy absolutely lost it. Pulled out a gun, pointed it at him.
So what sort of wife, John is asking himself, would threaten her husband with a gun in the middle of a domestic argument? There's something within Tracy that John is about to learn that is very dark.
It's the last straw for John. He files for divorce.
What do you want?
But no one dumps Tracy.
Yeah, can you please sign the documents?
She goes right for the jugular. You know what? Nobody rejects me. I'm gonna get back at you, big time.
Tracy files for sole custody of her son.
What did you say?
You heard me.
All she wanted to do was hurt John because he wanted to leave her.
But the divorce judge rules they must share custody. With her marriage woes behind her, Tracy moves on to her second husband, Australian Michael Roberts. The couple moves to Early, Iowa.
By all accounts, the first few years of the marriage between Tracy and Michael seemed to be very happy.
Having a second husband doesn't lessen Tracy's anger towards her first. She keeps using her son to hurt John.
Tracy would deny Dr. Pittman visitation.
So John does something that any father would do. He goes after his son.
He's going for sole custody.
He attempted to get sole custody. Big problem. He unleashed a monster.
He's going to regret this.
In early Iowa, Tracy Richter has a new husband, but she's still in a bitter custody battle for her son with her ex, Dr. John Pittman. Then, on December 13th, 2001, Tracy's the victim of a shocking crime. A home invasion.
She's got guns!
She manages to fight back and kills one of the intruders. It turns out to be her 20-year-old neighbor, Dustin Weedy.
People just thought was a strange kid to begin with. People kind of wanted to accept the fact that maybe he was capable of that.
Why would Dustin want to hurt Tracy? According to his confession, found in a pink spiral notebook, Tracy's ex-husband hired him.
And the spiral notebook basically detailed that John Pittman had been in contact with him and wanted him to kill Tracy.
But John denies ever meeting Dustin. And police can't find any phone records connecting the two.
You know, I just went into auto.
As police continue their investigation, Tracy enjoys her hero status. But Special Agent Trent Valletta thinks something's up.
The marks on her neck looked red, but I kept asking myself, if you are getting pulled down the hallway, why isn't there more bruising?
And who's heard of a killer leaving a confession lying around?
Something doesn't smell right. In fact, something smells evil here.
But suspicions can't get a conviction. Without enough evidence, the case goes cold. But Agent Valletta can't forget it.
He was already obsessed. And I became obsessed.
In 2009, 8 years after the murder, Sac County District Attorney Ben Smith reopens the investigation. And Tracy's true colors are exposed.
What they find, they claim, is the most violent, most vile snuff pornography they've ever seen in their careers. This stuff is brutal.
30-plus videos of men breaking into a house and raping a single woman. There were dozens of pictures of dead bodies.
There wasn't anything Tracy didn't like to do. It all gave her a thrill.
When they re-interview a friend of Tracy's, she reveals information for the first time that breaks the case.
Tracy told her about a notebook just days after it happened.
Police never released the fact that they found the notebook confession.
What they did, which I thought was genius, was they told nobody about the pink notebook. So in their minds, they thought that whoever started talking about the pink notebook first would be the one that was guilty of the crime.
That's the case right there. She should have known about a notebook, right?
Tracy isn't a victim. She's a cold-blooded assassin.
Hey, Dustin.
Hi, Tracy.
Her kind-hearted neighbor didn't suspect a thing.
He was just more of a quiet kid, quiet, lonely kid that didn't have any friends.
Hey, could I borrow your muscles for a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Kind of a goofy-looking kid, but I think had a good heart.
Dustin often helps Tracy around the house. Today,
Come in.
she wants a lot more from him.
It would be extremely easy for a woman like Tracy to manipulate a guy like Dustin.
Take a seat.
What's going on?
Sit down.
She pulls out one of her guns and she says, "You're gonna write something down on a piece of paper, and you're gonna do it right now."
Write this down.
She forces Dustin to write a confession that implicates her ex-husband.
This was all about framing her ex-husband to get custody of Bert.
Faster, write it down.
She can take that notebook to court. She can show that she was assaulted, and there's no one to say that it didn't happen because Dustin's dead.
Stand up. Turn around.
Please don't hurt me.
I'm not gonna hurt you, Dustin. I'm gonna kill you.
Tracy takes a life of an innocent young man to win a custody battle.
She fires, and she hits him 9 out of 11 times.
She plotted, she planned, she pulled the trigger.
Tracy then plants the damning notebook in Dustin's car and turns herself into the victim.
It's a calculated thing. She didn't really have any other bruises on her body, so she had to produce some sort of evidence that Dustin was there and Dustin actually assaulted her.
As outlandish as Tracy's plan was, she pulled it off for 10 years.
Finally, Tracy gets a knock on the door
Yes?
and is arrested. In 2011, the jury takes less than 2 hours to find her guilty of first-degree murder.
She was willing to kill somebody, basically to win a custody dispute.
Tracy Richter is sentenced to life in prison without parole.
Psychopaths look at themselves as being smarter than everyone around them. They pride themselves on their ability to lie and get away with it. But Tracy wasn't that good of a psychopath.
Fire transforms a home into a death trap.
They were all going to die, and there was nothing he could do about it.
Shock turns to disbelief.
She had no sense of control. She had no boundaries.
This blaze is no accident.
She was clearly a ticking time bomb.
In 2012, Prestatyn, Wales. A picturesque seaside town.
Prestatyn is a small town, and in the summer it's full of holidaymakers.
For 23-year-old Liam Timbrell, it's the perfect place to raise a family with his bubbly partner. 20-year-old Leanna Shires.
Leanna and Liam, they were everything to each other. They were extremely happy together, you know, as a family.
Leanna is a stay-at-home mom, while Liam works 2 jobs to give 15-month-old Charlie the best they can.
They were just starting out in life, really, together.
finally asleep.
Oh, is he now?
The young couple rent an upstairs apartment, and they couldn't be happier. The same can't be said for their downstairs neighbor.
Stop it!
43-year-old Melanie Smith.
Shut up! Don't make me come up there!
God. We've awakened the beast.
She scares me.
Don't worry about it. Just ignore it.
Stop it!
Melanie had lots of mental and emotional problems. She treated them with alcohol. That made everything worse.
Were you last night till 12 o'clock?
I was with Charlie.
With Charlie, were you?
Melanie Smith appeared to be a lonely person. She appeared to have alienated anyone who ever got close to her.
Melanie doesn't even trust her live-in lover, 45-year-old Steve Clarkson.
Melanie had accused Steve of having an affair, on many of occasions.
What are you looking at?
Nothing.
I know what you're up to.
Melanie thought any woman she saw was having an affair with her boyfriend,
including her much younger neighbor, Leanna.
With that slag upstairs!
What? You're off your bloody rocker. What?
That wasn't happening. But once Melanie got a hold of an idea, she never let it go.
Melanie becomes obsessed with Leanna and everything she does.
She looked for things to be angry about.
Hello?
If she couldn't find anything, she'd go looking for it.
Stupid bloody thing. Are you right?
Melanie was angered by Leanna leaving the pram in the stairwell. There was also a dispute over Leanna leaving cigarette butts outside the front of the house.
What is her problem?
Life.
She didn't hold back when it came to being aggressive in the situation.
I'll burn the bloody house down with her and the kitchenette!
For Liam and Leanna, their crazy neighbor is annoying, but surely not dangerous.
I think that they just looked at her as a drunk, just talking rubbish.
But paranoia, obsession, and alcohol are a dangerous mix.
I know what you're up to in there. I'll burn the bloody house down with you and the kitchenette.
She should have been taken more seriously.
In the Welsh seaside town of Prestatyn, there is no love lost between the upstairs and the downstairs neighbors.
Stop it!
Melanie Smith is at war with young couple Liam Timbrell and Leanna Shires.
Hello?
Everything Leanna and Liam did upset Melanie. But I think anyone who had lived there would have upset Melanie.
I'll burn the bloody house down with her and the kitchenette!
Melanie is particularly angry at Leanna.
She was jealous. She thought Leanna was having an affair with her boyfriend.
There is no affair, but Melanie's vivid imagination is fueled by alcohol. October 19th, 2012. She hits the bottle early.
Melanie appeared to have been drinking all day.
Don't you dare!
She was clearly a ticking time bomb.
Upstairs,
Little circles, come on.
Liam and Leanna have a full house.
There we go.
15-month-old Charlie has playmates.
Can you see yourself in the mirror?
2 young cousins are having a sleepover.
Leanna's niece and nephew, Bailey, who was 4, and Sky, who was 2, they were staying with her for the evening.
Okay, kidlets, time to spit in the sink. Are you ready? And spit.
Fun and laughter. But not for Melanie.
She was at boiling point.
I'm gonna do it.
What are you doing? It doesn't go that way.
Don't make me do it.
Off we go.
She set the pram on fire at the bottom of the stairwell.
Burn in hell.
She had no sense of control. She had no boundaries. She decided to set the fire and let what happened happen.
Fire breaks out in the communal hallway.
The fire was set in the only escape route for the upstairs apartment.
Liam knows the only way his family can get out is down the stairs. But the heat and flames push him back.
Fire! Fire!
After the fire had caught on and the carpet and walls were burning, it would be impossible for the family upstairs to get out.
Everything's okay.
And the windows can't be opened.
All right, we're gonna go back. We're gonna change of plan.
There wasn't even a chance of escape. Unbeknownst to them, they were living in a death trap.
Liam makes a desperate call to emergency services.
Help us! Help! Someone lit the flat on fire!
It must have been horrendous for Liam and Leanna with the 3 children because there was absolutely no way out.
There's a fire downstairs.
Liam knew after the fire was set that they were all going to die, and there was nothing he could do about it. He also knew help was not going to get to them in time.
Firefighters arrive, but it's too late for Leanna, 4-year-old Bailey, and 2-year-old Sky. Somehow, Charlie and Liam survive, just
in incredible pain. His lungs and airways would have been burning with each breath.
But he fights the pain to say a few words.
It was arson.
He made a dying declaration. He told the firefighters who did it.
It was Mel.
I suspect that those words were the last he ever spoke.
Living downstairs, Melanie escapes the flames through a window.
As the fire broke out, Melanie and Steve escaped through the bedroom window.
Melanie Smith, is it?
Aye, that's me.
What do you know about what's happened tonight?
I was in bed. I had nothing to do with it.
In bed, were you?
Yeah, I was in bed with Steve here.
Melanie Smith painted a picture of almost being a victim herself.
Tell them I was in bed with you, wasn't I?
I see.
Tell the officer I was in bed with you.
Save it for the station.
Soon police learn of Melanie's grudge against Leanna.
I burn the bloody house down with you and the kids in it.
And more telling, her heartless reaction to the plight of the family.
Are the children up there?
When a resident asked Melanie, how many children are up there?
How many were up there? How the bloody hell would I know? She's got everybody up there.
She said this while Leanna, Liam, and 3 little children were burning to death.
But Liam's dying courage decides Melanie's future. She is arrested and charged with 3 counts of murder. A tally that soon rises.
Charlie, the baby, mercifully died in 2 days. Liam lingered for 3 horrible weeks. And before he died, he knew what had happened to his entire family. And he knew who did it.
In May, 2013. Melanie Smith is convicted on 5 counts of murder and sentenced to life in prison. No chance of parole for 30 years.
Melanie Smith was unstable, hostile, insecure, paranoid, jealous, and that spelled trouble for the rest of the world.
She'd made too many threats for this to be a spontaneous act. I think it was going to happen. If it's not that night, I think it was going to happen another time. And I think if she was still on the street, it would happen to another family.
Even Melanie's own family agree. Her victims did nothing to deserve the fate she dealt them.
Melanie's own 3 children said that they believed their mother was the most evil woman in Great Britain. They'll get no argument from me.
Sometimes it's not wrong place, wrong time.
They kicked her, they stomped on her, they beat her on the head.
It's wrong place.
She got a thrill out of making people do things for her.
Wrong people.
Rhonda demanded absolute loyalty, and she got it.
2010, Napomo, California. Seemingly a quiet, rural community.
You wouldn't have to blink more than twice going through it, but it's nice enough.
But it has a dark underbelly.
Stop using and start bagging.
47-year-old Rhonda Wisto's home is the center of a drug ring.
She had been hooked on meth most of her adult life. Her home became this sort of meth distribution center.
She would allow people to hole up at her house as long as they did things for her.
That's why she called herself the puppet master.
Rhonda sort of began to fancy herself as this Ma Barker type, this middle-aged mother who was a gang leader.
It's a simple transaction. Drugs for loyalty. Rhonda even uses the same method to control her son, 19-year-old Jacob York.
Did you weigh this?
He wasn't a very outgoing person. His demeanor was sort of quiet.
He says he can feel the weight.
Use the scales.
Rhonda demanded absolute loyalty from her family and those close to her in the gang. And she got it.
But a small-time operation isn't enough for Rhonda. She wants to be a drug kingpin.
It's not that hard.
So she recruits a lieutenant, 28-year-old Ty Hill.
Ty Hill was the one assisting Rhonda in amping up the criminal enterprise. And then they were trying to move up into the larger quantities, ounces, half pounds, that kind of stuff.
He told people he was a bail bondsman. He carried handcuffs. He also had a sadistic side.
Across town, life couldn't be more different for 15-year-old Destiny Myers.
She was a Girl Scout. She sang in her church choir.
Many people saw promise in Destiny. Teachers thought she was very bright. For a while, it looked like she had everything going for her.
Voice of an angel.
Just beautiful.
Destiny was raised by her grandmother because her mother had drug issues herself and she was young and out of jail.
You know what? I would like Destiny to lead our choir program.
But Destiny doesn't stay a good girl. She's drawn to the wild side, like her mother.
You're going to school today. Make me.
Some children who have parents in prison act real bad or are real bad because they think it's their destiny, their DNA destiny.
In September 2010,
Laters.
Destiny runs away from home. One of the first people she hooks up with
Did she say anything about me?
is Ty Hill.
No.
He offers her a place to stay.
I got a place to stay. We have weed there.
Yeah.
She doesn't realize what she's walking into.
Ty Michael Hill brought her to Rhonda's.
Boys, this is Destiny. Destiny, this is the boys.
And initially passed her off as his niece.
And this is Rhonda. Rhonda, this is my niece. Can she stay?
In Rhonda's world, you live by her rules or face the consequences.
Rhonda really got into the whole gang culture.
Mind your own business and don't ask questions.
And in the gang world, respect meant everything.
And keep your mouth shut.
Aye, aye, Captain.
For a newly minted bad girl, rules are for losers.
Destiny, get in here.
And at one point, she had carved a symbol into a piece of furniture that Rhonda owned.
You don't have to yell. How dare you vandalize my table?
It's not exactly an antique.
You watch yourself, girl.
Here you have this young, slight 15-year-old girl standing up to her, talking back to her.
Just shut your mouth or you regret it.
I think that really offended her and threatened her status as leader of the gang.
Destiny's mouth isn't the only thing getting her into trouble.
Destiny became the girlfriend of Rhonda's son. Big mistake.
Rhonda worried that if word got out that her son was sleeping with a 15-year-old, that he would get in trouble. She was also very worried that Destiny was going to tip off police as to some of the illegal activity that had been taking place at the house.
Destiny knew too much about Rhonda's criminal enterprise.
Rhonda decides Destiny must go. September 26th, 2010. Napomo, California. 47-year-old puppet master Rhonda Wistow gives orders to her crew.
I don't think she's gonna be able to.
Oh, she is gonna be a problem. That mouth of hers is gonna get us all in trouble.
So what would you like us to do?
What do you think?
Together they plan 15-year-old Destiny Myers' farewell.
Some of the items on the list were 55-gallon drum, shovels, a tent, flammable fluids. Once they had the list, then they just had to wait for the right time.
Destiny senses something is wrong and thinks it's time to go.
She was carrying a bag of clothes.
You're not going nowhere.
Ty Hill injected her with a pretty heavy dose of meth.
But not a dose that will kill her. Rhonda wants Destiny to suffer.
Mom, I don't want to do this.
Rhonda's son did not want to be involved in the murder of Destiny. And Rhonda said,
Sometimes things just need to happen. Get in there.
and he did what Mama wanted.
And I think that she actually got a thrill out of making people do things for her. They used their fists, their feet, brass knuckles, a sword, and a baseball bat.
What's that?
Hey, get up! Get up!
Rhonda orders 20-year-olds Jason Greenwell and Cody Miller to join in.
Destiny was petite, probably 100 pounds. 4 young males could have killed her very quickly and, well, frankly, painlessly. But they didn't. They kicked her to death, they stomped on her, they beat her on the head. Completely unnecessary.
But it's necessary for Rhonda. She can hold this murder over her boys forever. But not all of them. One of Rhonda's henchmen, Cody Miller, is next on her hit list.
Rhonda ordered her son and the others, after they were done killing Destiny, to kill Cody. She thought he was a police informant. He wasn't.
He was knocked out and actually fell into the pit that he just dumped Destiny's body into.
Against the odds, Cody escapes.
Jacob takes off running after him. Neither of them have a flashlight. So Cody doesn't have to go very far, and he hides.
Jacob gives up the chase.
He's dead. You sure? He's gotta be.
So the body's in the grave. They throw some kindling on top of it, put the flammable liquid on there, ignite it. There's a boom, a loud noise, and that wakes up the neighbors.
Rhonda's henchmen weren't exactly the brightest lights in the harbor.
When firefighters arrive, they find more than a grass fire.
A man came out of the darkness. He didn't have a shirt on, his face was covered in blood, and his nose was almost amputated. He said that there had been a murder committed, and he told the firefighters the blaze that they were about to fight would contain the victim.
Rhonda's plan backfires. Now, Cody is a police informant. He names names. Rhonda, Jacob, Jason, and Ty are arrested. Ty Hill and Cody Miller plead guilty to first-degree murder and are sentenced to life without parole. Jason Greenwell, guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to 15 years to life.
Murder was not in the cards for these defendants until they met Rhonda Wistow.
In May 2013, mother and son are found guilty of first-degree murder.
He may not have had the heart for murder that his mother did, and he may not have wanted to kill Destiny, but he did.
They receive the same sentence, life without parole. Rhonda Wistow's need to control puts 4 young men behind bars and takes a life that had hardly even begun.
A lot of people said that Destiny did lose her way, but some people felt eventually she would have gotten back on track. Maybe the fact that she was leaving that house, that could have been the first step, but we'll never know.
These deadly women wanted the ultimate control, sentencing others to death. Tracy Richter took an innocent life to frame her ex. Melanie Smith condemned a family to flames. And Rhonda Wistow proved her dominance with murder. Lives meant nothing to them. Their hearts weren't just hard. They were cold as ice.